like to introduce yourself?
My name is Leslie, and this is...
You might have to speak up a bit because you've got your hand over the mic. Sorry. Right.
Starting again?
Yeah. Yes.
My name is Leslie, and this is my market, the Dandelion Market, which is an art craft and vintage market for the individual, the flamboyant, and the delicately wild of it. I've been running in it for 2.5 years now, and I also trade at this market. But my main concern is my traders. And I try and get in a nice range of IB, RT, and unique and usual makers and artists and vintage traders.
How can you describe creativity in your own words?
Creativity is wanting to invent something that no one else has done before, I think. Even though some people will say that it isn't possible to do anything new, but I think it's infinitely possible because everybody has their own slant on making things and on seeing the world and wanting to interpret it and fabricate something that others will, so they can share the creativity with others. Creativity needs to be shared as well, really.
And how do you express it?
Personally, I have lots of different ways to express it. I make art, I have art background, and I make crafts and make upcycled things out of men's shirts, vintage buttons. I have a background in sewing as well, and I also then more recently done this in the vintage, in events.
And how long have you been doing all of this?
Well, I have been trading as an artist since 2006. When I first started out, I was doing artist books, and then branched out into crafts, and then the vintage after that.
What inspires you, and how do your ideas come about?
I was raised by artist parents, so I've been immersed in creativity all my life, and so I'm inspired by almost anything and everything. I love color a lot, and love music, and I try sometimes to draw upon my own life, and also make observations about what I see around me and shared experiences as well.
Where and how do you find you best generate your ideas?
Late at night. I'm a bit of a night owl, and I tend to sort of warm up throughout the day, and I get, full of ideas, and often it's when I go to bed, and I lie in bed, and I can think of an idea here, idea there. I jot them down in a little notebook, and sometimes sketch things. So it could be anywhere, anytime, really.
What is your process of idea generation and development? How do you take an idea and turn it into a final product?
I'm often prompted by an opportunity. I might see a call out for art, or know somebody who's got involved with something. Like recently I got involved with a group called Artists Who, and we all, like 7 diverse artists, and we got together and exhibited together. So that prompted me to make some new work, and things I've already made feed into new things. So I'll make something new, and then I'll realize, gosh, this is an area that really interests me, and I maybe need to explore it more. So it's self-generating sometimes.
How and where do you source materials, and what sort of materials do you use?
Anything that is secondhand, generally speaking. I love thrift stores, charity shops, found objects. So I collect clothing. Some of it I resell as vintage, and sometimes I make things out of it. I made a series of cushions called stuffed shirts, which were made from men's shirts, and it's a play on the expression of he's an old stuffed shirt, and sort of city gent type shirts, and What was there another part of that question that I haven't covered?
What sort of materials do you use? You basically...
Yeah, I mean, paper, fabric, textiles.
Can you describe some challenges you faced when creating?
Yeah, space is a big one. I only have a small place, very cluttered because I collect so many materials and beautiful things, and balancing that with being a mother and trying to keep the place tidy. So space, and living in the city, noise intrusion, things like that can kind of knock me off kilter.
And what drives you to persist and persevere when facing these challenges?
Because I love making things. I absolutely love that, and I also enjoy selling too. And so, for this market and trading at other markets is the perfect way for me to combine those passions.
What would you say is your favorite piece of work and so far, and why?
I have a series of hoops that are embroidered, which were in this exhibition I was talking about at the Vibe Gallery recently, and it's called Stitched Up, and it's about women's issues and how we as women are basically stitched up, and how we all have common experiences no matter where we are in the world, things that we impose on ourselves even, and things that women impose on each other, and what society imposes on us.
I think you just answered my next question. What inspired you to create this? I'll go to the next one. How do you promote your work?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I have numerous Facebook pages. I administrate a couple that are joint efforts. I promote myself at markets and fairs, and at, selling at fairs. I have a couple of Etsy shops online. So it's mostly sort of online at markets and fairs, and it's meeting people face to face and establishing bonds of friendship really with people.
How do you manage your time when producing, creating, and selling?
Well, I spend a lot of the time doing my admin in the daytime when my son's at school, and also make things in the daytime. But I have so many made things that I don't have to make things all the time, even though I would love to. But I have, because I have lots of things going on, I can't just spend time making, and evenings is when I kind of get online and start doing the old social networking, and then weekends generally are when I'm doing my markets and fairs. So that's when it's when I go out to work, and that's when I do my real-time socializing.
What advice or message can you give to other creatives, designers, and so on?
I think we need to constantly check ourselves, as well as be free with ourselves. We need to express ourselves, but we also need to keep checking back. Is this really, is this going to work? Is this the right format? Is this the right, am I presenting this right? Look at what other people are doing and see what you aspire to, and then kind of incorporate ideas from what others are doing as well, and as well as inventing yourself too, making new things. It's important to also acknowledge what else is going on around you.
Lovely. Thank you. Do you want to say anything else?
Well, thank you so much for coming along and taking an interest in me and the market and my traders. And I hope to see you again. It's a local event. It's on every month. It's very fun and vibey and full of creativity. Thank you.